the limit of possible population for hundreds of years. I mean, population essentially has long been the pair of elephants quietly humping in the corner of the room. Because however you look at it, I mean, it's possible the world could logistically cope with a 10 billion plus population, but then the question is, wouldn't it be better for everyone if it didn't have to? And all of it is pointlessly moot anyway, because we are where we are with 8 billion people and a collapsing environment and resources. And the social implications to all possible versions of our future are somewhere on a four-dimensional graphic between awkward, harrowing, tedious and utterly catastrophic. So it's a very awkward political issue that is barely talked about and completely insoluble, it seems to me.
So I have one stepson and a cat. So does that mean is that a net positive environmentally? I'm just trying to work out if I'm a good person, guys.
Yeah, no, you're saving the world essentially. I don't know if there are emissions trading, like you have your carbon offsets and.
Yeah, do you get cat credits?
I mean, the Japanese Prime Minister this week, addressing Japan's falling birth rate, says that if Japan is to be able to continue to function as a society, it is, quote, now or never to address this issue of birth rate. 28% of Japan's population is over 65. So are we now heading towards a world where essentially half of the global population are extremely old and the other half are looking after extremely old people? And is this the utopia we've always dreamed of? I'm not entirely sure it is.
We're all living longer, which is why the French are right to protest, like not getting a pension till 64, and they're protesting.
Yeah, there's a difficulty there, isn't there? That you can understand why people don't want to work longer, but at the same time, if we don't want to work longer, we're going to have to live less long as well, and that's a hard sell politically. The man of Ab, then that's fine with me. The birth rate in Britain, down at 1.6 per woman. But there's a lot of evidence, I think, that suggests that birth rates come down with increasing education of girls and freedom of choice for women in terms of how they live their lives and how they conduct their careers. But I think in Britain the birth rate has come down because as a country we try to avoid awkward conversations, and conversations don't get much more awkward than your child coming up to you and saying, "Hey guys, did you not look at the state of A, the world, B, the country, and C, everything else before imposing on me a planet which I had at no point expressed a willingness to be born in?" That is an awkward conversation starter, and so you can understand why people are reluctant to put themselves in a position where they might have to answer that question from a cup of tea and a biscuit just doesn't quite cut it.
There was a study across India to see what were our most populous states, and you're absolutely right. The more educated the state is, the more scientifically progressive and less religious, like Kerala or Tamil Nadu, less of the population. And our most populous state is Uttar Pradesh, which is in the northeast, which is about as large as Brazil. I think it's bigger than Brazil, just the state itself. And they went around Uttar Pradesh asking people why they have so many children, and most of that place is just wide open space and farmland, and most of the people said there's nothing else to do in the evenings.
Well, I'd assumed that, because if you look at the comparative birth rates between India and China's has come down, and India's as well. It's come down, but less. So India's overtaking China, and what's the difference? The main difference between these two countries is that India has cricket and China is barely played there. And obviously cricket is such an unstoppably sexy game that people simply can't help just ferociously breeding with each other.
Yeah.